looking into hidden stories, hidden parts of the story that most of us may not know. I'm Brother Noel Campbell. Thank you for joining us on Arrows Alive. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate you joining us. So we have reached the point. Goliath has been getting up morning and night for 40 days, taunting the nation, lying to them, saying he's promising if you defeat us, we'll become your slave. Didn't happen. He's saying, okay, accept the terms of our battle. Come in, and if we defeat you, you become our slaves. Don't accept the terms. These are all lies. So David walks in, and David doesn't know what's happening. He has no clue. He doesn't know he's walking in clean and clear. And this sometimes is something that is so important. David walks in. David has no clue. He asks his elder brother, what's going on? His elder brother is annoyed. Why are you here? You know, this is big people business. Stay out of it. David is amazed. And David is, what is happening here? He says, verse 29, what have I done? Can't I even speak? And he turns and he asks, what's going on? And the man answered him as before and told him what was happening. And then David keeps on asking to people. He says, hey, what's going on? There's a giant. What happens to the person who kills this giant? Now, let me tell you what is amazing about David. David does not see the giant. He zeroes in on what's the promise of overcoming the giant. So right off the bat, he's not even seeing the giant as an obstacle. He's seeing the giant as a hurdle, He's seeing it as something you jump over, you overcome to get to what you need. But he doesn't see it as an obstacle. No giant is to be an obstacle. Giants are not walls. They're stepping stones for you to go into your victory. So what does David say? He says, what's the reward? He doesn't see Goliath as an obstacle. He sees Goliath as a hurdle. What's the reward? So eventually, they're not even paying attention to him. To show you how young and inexperienced David was, nobody took him seriously. His brothers didn't take him seriously. Every time he asked someone, nobody. In fact, they say, go home. They say, what are you here? Go home. All you are is just a nine. Go home. But Saul hears about it. Now, let me show you something. This is not Saul responding in faith. Saul, the king, hears there is one person who is asking about fighting Goliath. And Saul says, you know what? Let me sacrifice one person, so that at least if he goes up and he fights, maybe we'll see what happens. If he's defeated, we're not any further along. So he calls for David. And when he sees David and he sees him, he's like, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. And he goes up, David says to Saul, and David says this, listen to what David says. And I want you to understand, the first thing he did, he looked for the promise of defeating Goliath. The second thing he did was he said to Saul this. He said to Saul this, I will go and fight him. Verse 32, let no one lose heart in account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him. He's saying, don't fear, I am here. What? Don't fear, I am here. And Saul says, Saul does not accept this. Listen to Saul. Saul does not say, thank God, hallelujah, I got a champion. Oh, this is wonderful. A man of faith. So David. You know what he says? You are not able to go against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man. The word young man there says basically a preteen. And he has been a warrior from his youth. Even Saul started to speak negative. I'm going to say this to you. When the giant has infected the body, you're not going to find many other believers who encourage you. Don't expect when you are going against your giant, I want to say this, you are a minority of faith. You are a minority, even among those who call themselves believers. But with God on your side, with the Lord on your side, it doesn't matter if nobody else It doesn't matter if nobody else understands. It doesn't matter if your family doesn't understand, your pastor doesn't understand. It doesn't matter if your mentors don't understand. It does not matter what you're going through. Remember this, you serve a big God.